I'm well. I'm well. I hope you are well as well. Hello, Mr. Wright. How are you? How are you? I don't know if you guys are familiar with Alex Isley, but that is she's a dope artist. One of my favorite songs from her is called "Good and Plenty." That's one of my favorite songs. If y'all don't know her, yes, yes, I'm live tomorrow too. Tomorrow's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a real good one. That's gonna be an amazing one. That is called A Dose of Dr. Sample. And you don't want to miss that one. That one right there, that's gonna be a good one. Hello, Miss Nettles. Hey. Merry Christmas to you too. Merry Christmas to you too. Now just wait till just a few more minutes to get a couple more people in here. And happy Monday. I forgot about this one. I didn't say yesterday I was going to do this. But yeah, I forgot about this. I wanted to get this out the way. It's a couple I want to get out the way impromptu before the new year starts. So uh, this is one of them. On me. I'm gonna do a real good one, like right before the New Year's, about friendships, and when it's time to move on, all that good stuff, good stuff. Um, but yeah, I'm probably gonna start at like 6:05. Actually, really not. I'm actually gonna start right now because people are here, and once I learn how to get this YouTube thing together and all that stuff, and then they can come back and look and all that. I want to start on time. That's how I am. I'm a very prompt person, and it was disrespectful for the people who did come on time. So I want to say first off, shout out to Tax Credit Academy and my baby mom, Patrice Stewart, for lending me this space to so I can do my podcast. Some dope spot, beautiful art, and she does taxes, all financial services. She's a black-owned business, and that is we got to support each other. Very professional, and she gets me organized. So yes, she is my baby mama. So I appreciate that. So please um, support Patrice Stewart. She has her own YouTube page as well. She talks about a lot of financial literacy and a lot of stuff. She's good. She knows how to get us organized and all that good stuff. Um, I don't, you know what? I haven't looked at the Fat Joe situation, so I can't speak on that yet, but I will look at that. I'm not a real fan of his music, so I don't really care. But I do know that he bought Trump's shoe and then voted for Kamala because he said that he's a sneakerhead. Um, but he's also for illegals, so it is what it is. But yeah, I don't really know what happened with that situation, so I got to go look that up. Man, I'm trying to change the world. I don't really care about what Fat Joe is talking about. You know, I recently saw the situation with John Leguizamo, and I just don't appreciate him being on PBS and talking that crazy stuff. So yeah. Um, as I continue to work on my case to uphold the U.S. Constitution and fight for justice, I'm also managing various expenses, you know, as far as my storage being in Atlanta, because I had to come back here and fight Chicago. Transportation costs is including Uber. which right now, Uber and Lyft, the city done raised them taxes up. And then I have to make sure my mother and my godfather is taken care of. So if you want to help, I appreciate any donations and support. And if you can't donate, please consider watching the commercials on my YouTube channel so I can earn through ads. That's very important. So if you want to, a lot of older people have asked, can they mail in donations? Yes, you can. You can mail your donations to Tax Credit Academy, 1200 West 35th Street, Suite 264, Chicago, Illinois, 60609. And that's good. Let's get into it. So I received an envelope today. And today I received, let's see, if you follow me on my social media, you probably already saw it. But it says it is addressed from the office of the 45th President, 1100 South Ocean Boulevard. Okay. And then my name, all that good stuff. All right. So I received a holiday card. Okay. It's from Trump and his family. It says, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And it says, with our very best wishes, and then signed by Mr. Trump, his wife, and Barron. Shout out to young Barron, okay, Gen Z Alpha. And then also, this one is super, super dope, right? This is me when I was speaking about the U.S. Constitution and reading back his oath. That's Brandon Johnson and Mary Richardson Lowry, who is head of corporate counsel, who can settle my case. Says Chicago residents tear into Mayor Johnson again. And I have his signed autograph. Boat. So this is dope. And as you know, this is worth a lot. This right here is worth a lot. Okay. So just letting you know that. So appreciate that. President-elect Trump. Appreciate that. And that's that. All right. Now, let's get into it. So I want to talk about a few current events before I get into my topic today. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, but on December 17th, a male that was 24 and shot and killed 7350 South Phillips. The migrant victim sustained a gunshot wound to the left temple. He was pronounced dead on scene. The crime scene is in apartment 412. It consists of a victim's body, a rifle, and one live round. A resident of the building says this happened when he heard a lot of people running and then a gunshot. The resident did call 911 about hearing a gunshot in the building. It came out as a wellness check. I put the migrant victim. They're not going to tell you that it was a migrant victim, but it was a migrant victim. Okay, because they don't want to let everybody know that. Whatever. But fast forward to today, they evicted the undocumented illegals on 73rd and Phillips. That is the same exact place where that homicide took place on the 17th. Mayor Brandon Johnson did send CTA buses and city trucks to assist with their relocation. And CPD, with the help of CTA and the Salvation Army, were on scene, okay, evicting families of Venezuelan illegals who entered an unoccupied building without the owner's permission, okay? Now, I said they're going to start doing this, okay? I said they were going to start doing this because Brandon and them have stolen the illegals' money. Okay, they don't have no money for the illegals. Okay, because they done stole their money or they done told the Mexicans and the Puerto Ricans and them. Well, Puerto Ricans they're the United States. They're technically they're in the United States, like they're part of the United States, but they can't vote or whatever. But the Puerto Ricans and the Mexicans and any other people who are in government that are also migrants or come from, migrant families and stuff like that. Hey man, the government giving out all this money, da da da. Come get this money, da 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 da, and they left all the illegals, Venezuelans, out here to really fend for themselves. A few got what they need to get, but not all of them. So I said that they was going to start squatting in abandoned buildings and apartments, and they are doing it, as you can see. But yeah, that happened today. A lot of people, you can go online and look at a lot of footage. A lot of footage is out there and all that. Cool. Now, if I was the mayor, they would have been dropped off in the 33rd Ward and the 35th Ward. 33rd Ward is Rosana Rodriguez Sanchez, and the 35th Ward is Carlos Ramirez Rosa, because they are the ones who got us in this weird illegal immigration invasion scam thing. So, next, I don't know if you've heard, but the chief comptroller, okay, the comptroller, Chase Rewinkle. Now, he decided that today, well, he actually, he announced that he'd be leaving the city Friday. Now, we were there when me and Miss Jackson, when we were down there fighting, we really weren't understanding what was going on, but we were watching like the appointments and coming in because we were starting to fight it. We were fighting when Brandon Johnson got in, but we were there when he got appointed. When Chase Rewinkle got appointed, we were there. And the comptroller, he runs the office responsible for things like payrolls, fines and fees, workers' compensation. But he announced on Friday he'd be leaving the city to work as a chief financial officer for the family-owned bank, Devon Bank. Rewinkle has been the third leg of Johnson's finance team alongside Chief Financial Officer Jill Dororsky and Budget Director Annette Guzman. These three are responsible and were responsible for helping ushers Johnson's budget through the automatic gauntlet. Running the numbers for various proposed taxes and fees, cuts, and financial maneuvers to close this $1 billion budget gap. Also, two other people left this month as well. Policy Chief Umi Grisby, who helped spearhead Bring Chicago Home plans that derailed and everybody voted no. Plans inch closer toward a city-owned grocery store and an overhaul of the city mental health services. I'm pretty sure the city-owned grocery store, she pulled out on that because they're trying to open up one of these city-owned grocery stores on my mother's and my godfather's other part of the land that we own, and we have yet to get compensated for that. So we got the Sandpiper Lounge, we have an active federal lawsuit against, and then on our other lots, there is a Save-A-Lot that they're trying to turn into a government-owned grocery store, and they don't think we're coming for that because we also have the deed for that as well. But that's here nor there. That's another story. The Department of Family and Support Services Commissioner Brandy, maybe it's Nazy, but Knazze, who helmed the city's shelter response during the migrant crisis, is also exiting for a nonprofit job. She started leading the department under Lightfoot administration in 2021. The department also handles programming for children, youth, and seniors and survivors of domestic violence. Now, The chief comptroller is leaving for a private family-owned bank. And the Family and Support Services Commissioner is leaving for a nonprofit. Okay. That already there tells you what you need to know. It's about to go down. Okay. And no one is going to be blacklisted because you have a man in office who has no idea what he's doing. He doesn't know how to govern, and that is the main issue when it comes to all of this. Okay, we are in debt. Okay, we are bankrupt. Okay, like we are bankrupt. We're worse off than Detroit when Kwame Kilpatrick when Detroit we got bankrupt. It's worse than that because it's just like somebody that's just musty, right? And they just refuse to take a bath, but they continue to put on expensive cologne. You may smell okay, but you still musty, okay? And you don't take baths. So it doesn't matter how much cologne, how expensive your cologne is, if you don't bathe and get your hygiene together, it's only going to be for so much. Okay, that's a lot. That's how I can basically say how we're dealing with the city. Okay, the city we are underground. Okay, we are Titanic sunk. Okay, we are where those three people went to go try to find the Titanic and they died. That's how far we are in debt. Okay, and they want black people try to say stuff like, oh, we now see you all ain't gonna pay no property taxes. Y'all ain't gonna pay no property. See, we got the property taxes now. But baby girl, you gotta pay more taxes. And we don't do enough research or realizing that it's three sides to the story. And these aldermen that we have representing us, these 20 black aldermen who are representing us in our wards, they are losers. They also aren't public servants, and they also never thought that South Side and West Side was going to come together and push this, okay? Because they already have in their mind, we don't care too much. You understand? We ain't gonna do too much. Or they always say, black people don't want to work. Black people ain't gonna research. They gonna vote blue regardless. They got so comfortable that now they know that they're at risk of this term, especially when it comes to me and anybody that's in my group. And other people as well, our allies. But today, I want to talk about the Asians and the black relationship. Because it's been something I've always wanted to talk about, and then I've been seeing it online a lot, and then the whole situation with affirmative action that we lost and all those things. I just want to give my opinion on things when it comes to the overall relationship with the Asians in the black community, and just some historical facts when it comes to the Asians, when it comes to the blacks or the freedmen, and that's it. So I would like to start with the 1871 Los Angeles Chinese Massacre. Okay. So, the 1871 Los Angeles Chinese Massacre is one of the darkest and most overlooked chapters in American history. This event unfolded on October 24th, 1871, when racial tensions fueled by anti-Chinese sentiments and inflammatory rhetoric in local newspapers. It led to a brutal lynching of 18 Chinese immigrants, 10% of them from the city's small Chinese population at the time. So the background is by the 1870s, the Chinese population in Los Angeles was small but growing, with 172 individuals out of a city of 5,728. They were mostly concentrated in Negro Alley, a notorious vice district. Anti-Chinese sentiment was stroked by the press, labeling the Chinese as immoral and inferior. The feud between two Chinese associations over a kidnapped woman escalated into a shootout, resulting in the death of popular local Robert Thompson, which enraged in the community. A mob of 500 rioters, 10% of the city's population, targeted the Chinese residents, dragging them from a building and lynching them at a makeshift gallows, including Dr. Jean Tong, a respected community figure. Of the 18 victims, only one was believed to have participated in the initial gunfight. Despite 25 indictments, only 8 men were convicted of manslaughter. Their convictions were overturned on technicalities, and no one was held accountable. Now, mind you, this was 1871, and they're talking about overturn of technicalities. So I'm saying this stuff just keeps going and going. It's just crazy. The massacre did not lead to any reform or tolerance. Instead, anti-Chinese sentiment intensified, culminating in the formation of groups like the Anti-Coolie Club and policies that further marginalized Chinese communities. Okay, this event was quickly erased from public memory with no mention in year-end reviews or official records, which is true. I went and did my little research and found out about the 1871 Los Angeles Chinese Massacre. The 1871 Chinese Massacre serves as a stark reminder of the destructive power of racial hatred, mob violence, and system injustice. Okay? It highlights the need to remember and learn from these tragedies to ensure history does not repeat itself. And yes, I understand that, but history continues to repeat itself because legislation and these corrupt judges. The tragic murder. So that was something that happened in 1871 with racial tension between the Asians and the blacks. And 8 of the people got off on technicalities. So that right there just speaks volumes as far as us we're taking the stands that we need to take, but I think the boycotting and things that we're doing, the government and the system has learned how to pay us off, right? Give us money, and then we be like, okay, we good because we done fought so hard and we got here, but we don't push for that legislation, and that's one of the issues. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Vincent Chin, but I want to speak about him as well because a lot of people don't talk about Vincent Chin. But Vincent Chin was a 27-year-old Chinese American who was celebrating his upcoming wedding at a Detroit bar when he was attacked by Ronald Evans and his stepson Michael Nitz, white men, 2 auto workers, fueled by anti-Asian sentiment and anger over the decline of the U.S. auto industry. Blaming Japanese manufacturers, they brutally beat Chin with a baseball bat outside a McDonald's parking lot. Before slipping into a coma, Chin's last words were haunting. "It's not fair." He died 4 days later on the day he was supposed to be married. Evans and Nitz were arrested but released the same night. They were charged with second-degree murder, but the charges were plea bargained down to manslaughter. The judge sentenced them to 3 years probation and a $3,000 fine, stating, "These aren't the kind of men you send to jail. You fit the punishment to the criminal, not the crime." Neither man served a single day in jail, and the sentence was a devastating blow to Chin's family and the Asian American community. Now, That was a judge who said, these aren't the kind of men you send to jail. You fit the punishment to the criminal and not the crime. Now, we need to figure out, did that judge stay on that bench after he did that? Like, was this a judge that you could vote out and you guys continue to let him continue to be on this bench? Because that's the problem. You know, did the Asian American community go and make sure they had legislation, or I mean, not legislation, well, that, but make sure that that everybody went out and voted to get this man out? You know, I don't know. I want to look up that judge to see, because that's the thing. We need to start looking up the histories of these judges, because that is the issue and the problem as well. So, the injustice sparked nationwide outrage and became a rallying cry for Asian American activists. Organizations like American Citizens for Justice were formed, marking the first time Asian Americans united on a national scale to demand civil rights and accountability. The intersection of racial violence and economic scapegoating, as Chin was blamed for the success of Japanese car companies despite being Chinese American. The systematic failures in the U.S. legal system were racial bias influenced sentencing. Although a civil rights case was later brought against Evans and Nitz, it did not result in significant punishment. However, Vincent Chin's death continues to resonate as a reminder of the fight against racial injustice and the need of solidarity across the communities. It's kind of crazy. Yeah. So it sort of reminds me of, Sean Bell. I don't know if you guys know a lot of Sean Bell, but Sean Bell, all same with him. You know, he was celebrating, about to get married, going out, but the police ended up shooting him, and he ain't getting no justice to this day. I always think about Sean Bell in that situation, and why we don't go harder, why we don't have a bill for Sean Bell and all that. What are you talking about? The tension between the two, black dudes be robbing in their neighborhoods and sisters be stealing their services. That's literally it. What are you talking about? Okay, guy, put you on timeout because you're weird. All right, you come in there talking crazy. But yeah, people gotta really look at these judges, because that's the situation that's going on in my case. I really want to believe that my judge is a good judge. I know that he did sentence former alderman Willie Cochran to prison, and one of his quotes my judge said was that the corruption in Chicago must end. And I also agree with that. But we have been waiting for him to reach, for us to go to the next step. The next step is either you're going to dismiss this case, or you're going to dismiss the city's motion to dismiss, because there's nothing to dismiss, because the city has violated the Fifth Amendment, the 14th Amendment. On top of that, if you go to our previous case that was dismissed when it shouldn't have been dismissed over a fraudulent document, and we have the fraudulent documents that the city of Chicago's mayor put in as evidence. That was fraudulent documents that you gave to a judge who was senile and also racist. And at the end of the day, you guys put in a fraudulent deed that was not there. And Bradley Wilson knows that. The city knows that. Corporal counsel knows that. And my current judge knows that. But like I've said, people be taking these oaths for these fraternities, for the government, and they are in limbo right now. If you want to keep your job, if you don't want you, and if you decide that you wanted to be in, you wanted to be a judge because you wanted to be fair and go by the law. The law is they violated the Fifth Amendment, and go ahead and do what you need to do. Cool. Right. Now, during COVID, as you know, a hate crime bill. The Asians got a hate crime bill, but there was something that happened November 9th, 2021 here. A 24-year-old Asian student. I think his last name is Jing. That first name, I can't pronounce that at all. He was a recent University of Chicago graduate that was fatally shot during a robbery in the Hyde Park neighborhood. The suspect, 18-year-old Alton Span, was arrested and charged with first-degree murder, armed robbery, and 2 counts of unlawful use of a weapon. According to the police reports, Zing was walking on the sidewalk in the 900 block of East 54th Street when Span approached him. Witnesses stated that Zing appeared to struggle with Span before being shot once in the torso. Span then took electronics from Zing and fled the scene in a dark-colored car. Shortly after, Span sold the stolen electronics to a pawn shop for $100. Zing was transported to the University of Chicago Medical Center, where he was pronounced dead. The tragic incident has drawn significant attention, particularly within the Chinese community, both locally and internationally. Concerns have been raised about the effectiveness of the U.S. judicial system in delivering justice for such crimes. At this time, Span still has not been sentenced yet for this case, but he was a 24-year-old. He was an 18-year-old guy who just wasted his time shot this guy, stole his electronics, and then sold them for $100 to a pawn shop. And you look at things like this, and you see our communities, you see the need that we need in our communities. We know that they're also not getting the love and care from schools. Back in the day, people used to run the school. Like if people weren't getting the type of attention or stuff that they needed at home, maybe their parents was on drugs, maybe their parents worked a lot, stuff like that. You would have situations in school. You would have like mentors. You go to the YMCA, Boys and Girls Club. You got a favorite teacher that you rock with, a favorite hall monitor that you rock with. Guidance counselor is there to give you some guidance and some resources. They can also call. Oh my God! I'm here for the Chinese. You kind of annoying, man. Like, I'm not here to talk about this. Like I'm really trying to have my grace with you. I really appreciate how you were trying to spin Miss Jackson's case and all that stuff. But you come here and you do real weird stuff. So take that somewhere else. I'm talking about Asians right now. I'm not talking about no Hispanics. I'm talking about what's going on between Asians and blacks. So you take all that over there somewhere, because or get your own channel and do your own stuff. Because I'm really trying to have the patience with you, because you're a black man, but you kind of weird, fam. You kind of weird. All right. Now, back to what I was saying. We don't have the resources and those things in our community. Thank you, Deborah, for that. You don't have the resources and stuff in our community because they have taken them all out, just like they're taking Job Corps away. Job Corps saved a lot of people, but they take anything away if they see that we're going to be successful or be right. They want us to continue to deal with trauma, rob people and do these type of things and know that you don't have any resources in the schools and don't care because you make more money when we do stuff like this because you either could put us in jail or you could kill us, or but you keep the trauma going, no legislation. This is just what they do. All right, cool. Now, the University of Chicago and the University of Chicago, the black students and the Asian students got together, and they basically wanted to partner with Chicago Police Department to increase more police presence and surveillance in Hyde Park. They also wanted to figure out what is the root cause of the violence. The root cause of the violence is we have nothing in our communities and they have it like this on purpose. Okay, that's the problem. And because we don't have anybody to really speak up and ask and not even ask, at this point, there's no asking. It's demanding these resources for our communities is going to continue to be like this. Okay, that's how this works. So asking what the root cause of violence is, the root cause of violence is the government and the Democratic Party making money off of the black man's oppression, trillions of dollars of it, and try to find racial tensions when it comes to certain things because economically they are messing us up. So that's basically what the root cause the root cause is of the violence. Okay. The incident has sparked a rise in anti-black sentiment on campuses and social media, with some blaming the black community broadly. Students and community leaders have condemned this reaction, emphasizing the needs for solidarity rather than the division between Asian and black communities. And you're absolutely right. You understand? Like, there are some good Asians out here. There are some good Hispanics out here. And then there's also some ones that do try to take advantage. That's why I say it's really not no black and brown. It's really not no Asians or whatever. We have allies, but at the end of the day, black people, we need to move as a unit. Freedman, we need to move as a unit. And then the ones who try to take us off our square, the people who try to take us off our square, we have to get them get them out the way. And when I say get them out the way, block them, make sure they have no way they can be around you in any type of way, because those people are going to be distractions because they have trauma, they have normalized that we are supposed to be like this, okay? And we don't have any allies or no one cares about us and all that, and that's simply not true. We do have. If that was the case, Emancipation Proclamation would have never happened. Okay, so that's not true. But you've got the negative. You've got the Debbie Downers and the Debbie Dwaynes. The Debbie Downers and the Debbie Dwaynes are the ones that you stay away from. I don't play no games when it comes to that, especially when it comes to black people, because I have the patience for us because I love us, and I feel like at the end of the day, this was designed for us not to get along. But I'm also not going to be Dick Gregory because I love Dick Gregory with all my heart. But Dick Gregory also told me that you can't reason with some of these niggas and you got to leave them where they are. And that's the best thing that he could have told me, because I have no tolerance for people trying to do things that they should have did a long time ago. I'm down there by myself. Me and Ms. Jackson are down there by ourselves. We did this for 2 years. We put 2 years in this to do that, to push what we're pushing now. Please don't come in here and try to tell us what we need to do and how we need to do it when you have yet to come down there and do what you need to do. So remember that. Now, during 2021, when this happened, and a couple of, I think it was one other Asian was killed for a robbery during 2021, which was COVID, which a lot of Democratic cities were still inside. Like I said, I was living in Atlanta. We were outside. We weren't in like how y'all were. However, the COVID-19 Hate Crimes Act by President Joe Biden, a significant legislative step aimed at combating the rise in Asian hate crimes during the pandemic. Okay, bipartisan support. Okay, so that means both the Republicans and the Democrats received overwhelming support from both chambers of Congress, highlighting a rare moment of unity to address hate and violence for the Asians. Okay, now, the law that they put in place for them makes reporting hate crimes more accessible by enhancing public outreach and creating online resources in multiple languages. Okay, directs the Department of Justice to assign a designated officer to expedite reviews of hate crimes related to COVID-19. Okay, provides grants to state and local governments for crime reduction programs aimed at preventing and responding to hate crimes. Now, they gave us the Emmett Till lynching bill, right? And the Emmett Till lynching bill is for if we're getting lynched in trees. And yes, there was a few lynchings. One just happened this past year, but they can't, don't have any information about it. But they don't even talk about it. They gave us a lynching bill when y'all talk about so much about how the police is killing us and all of these things, and we can't get no bipartisan support on the George Floyd bill. Or matter of fact, since people want to go back and forth about George Floyd being on drugs or not, we got Sean Bell, we have Trayvon Martin, we've got Breonna Taylor. Like, if y'all want to name it another bill, you can do this. You understand? Like, this can happen. But the fact that we don't have any bills when it comes to the police is insane. But COVID-19, this happened. You got money for this. I mean, you get a bill for this. Bipartisan support at that, Republicans and the Democrats. Okay, all right. Now you got your President Joe Biden that's still in there, barely, but he's still in office. Described hatred and racism as the ugly poison haunting America. Well, the 93 crime bill was also ugly poison, President Biden. Okay. He also emphasized solidarity with the victims, stating, "We see you," and committed to stopping hatred and bias. Well, do you see those black men that you have put in jail and prison, and then the ones who are out but are struggling to get jobs or get themselves together because of the hate crime bill? Do you see them, President Biden? Do you see them? All right. And then you have your Vice President Kamala Harris that y'all was about to put in office if it wasn't for the common sense black folk that decided that they were going to sit in the House or vote for Trump or third party. She says, reflected on her personal experiences with racism and hates, and calling for continued efforts to combat all forms of discrimination, including xenophobia, anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, and homophobia. Now, it's no black phobia, it's no Freedman phobia, you understand? Because clearly it's an issue out here with how our communities continue to look and how y'all have money for everybody else but us is insane. You know, so that's clearly a phobia, and no one wants to talk about that phobia. Vice President Kamala Harris, all the people who vote who raised $1 billion for her, yeah. The legislation came amid a documented increase in hate crime against Asian Americans during the pandemic. Do you know how quick it was for them to get a hate crime bill during the pandemic when the pandemic, the COVID-19 started from them? The COVID-19 started from them. They had y'all out here masked up. They had y'all out here receiving PPP loans and going to jail. They had you out here getting the COVID shot. They had you out here getting everything. And because they were losing money with their Chinese restaurants and their beauty supply stores being closed, a couple of people were robbed and killed that were Asian. Also, a lot of blacks were robbed and killed. George Floyd got killed during the pandemic. You've got whites that were killed during the pandemic, but the Asians were able to get this hate crime bill that was fueled by xenophobic rhetoric, okay? And is supposed to build on previous commitments to address structural racism and promote equity across the Asian community. Address structural racism and promote equity across the community. They play in our face all the time. They play in our face all the time. Yo. Now, you know who I want to get into? Let's get into Latasha Harlins. Do y'all remember Latasha Harlins? All right. Latasha Harlins was a 15-year-old black girl whose tragic death became a significant catalyst for racial tensions in Los Angeles during the early 1990s. Her story, along with the beating of Rodney King, highlighted issues of racial injustice, economic inequality, and systematic discrimination. Okay? Now, on March 16, 1991, Latasha Harlins entered a convenience store, Empire Liquor Market Deli in South Central Los Angeles, to buy a bottle of orange juice. The store's owner, Soon Ja-do, a Korean immigrant, accused Latasha of trying to steal the juice, even though Latasha had the money to pay for it in her hand. A verbal and physical altercation ensued, during which Soon Ja-do shot Latasha in the back of the head as Latasha was walking away. Latasha died at the scene and she was unarmed. Okay, my sister is 33. So this was 33 years ago. All right, cool. The judge, Joyce Carlin, sentenced Soon Ja-do to 5 years of probation, 400 hours of community service, and a $500 fine. Soon Ja-do did not serve any prison time. The lenient sentence caused a widespread outrage in the black community and deepened mistrust of the justice system. Again, the judge. Okay? Now, I read y'all about Vincent Chin. Those was 2 white men that did that to Vincent Chin. Okay? And the judge gave them nothing but some community service, $3,000 fine. You dealing with Tasha Harlins, which everybody was known about, because after a couple of months after that, was it the Rodney King riots? Oh yeah, a year after that, Rodney King riots went crazy, right? Cool. The death of Latasha Harlins and the perceived lack of justice were seen as terrible to the 1992 Los Angeles riots, which were sparked by the acquittal of 4 LAPD officers in the beating of Rodney King. During the riots, many Korean-owned businesses were targeted, reflecting the strained relationships between the Black and Korean communities in South Central Los Angeles. Latasha Harlins is remembered as a symbol of the fight against racial injustice and systematic inequality. Her story has been referenced in culture works, including Tupac Shakur's Keep Your Head Up and Ava DuVernay's documentary 13. By the way, I love Ava DuVernay so much. Efforts to preserve her memory continue, with some community leaders working to address the systematic issues that contribute to her death and its aftermath. The fact that they say community leaders are working still to address systematic issues to contribute her death and its aftermath. Why don't we have a law for Latasha? Where is Latasha Harlins' law? Where is Rodney King's law? Because Emmett Till lynching bill is great and all. After his whole family done passed away, y'all decided y'all want to give that to him, because that's what I've learned with the government and with the Democratic Party. Now they'll name stuff, name certain figures, Black figures and stuff, after we die, or after they don't have to give no money to anybody. See, his mama died, his cousin died, his family, he don't have nobody. You understand? So now they want to give something, they want to make something, give him a bill or something like that, because as long as they don't got to put no money out there, they'll show that. That's what I've learned when it comes to the Democratic Party. Okay, but we can't get nothing at all. Now, many Chinese and Asian-owned businesses are located in predominantly Black neighborhoods, okay? And a lot of people have feelings of resentment because businesses are profiting from the community without them reinvesting, okay? It's designed by systematic barriers that we face, such as access to capital and economic opportunities. And that's real. That's real. That's real. The fact that how much beef and broccoli people eat a year, the Black community eat a year, how much Chinese food y'all eat a year, 4 wings and Chinese rice a year and all this stuff, and they don't give back to the community at all. Ain't no way in the world. The block that the Chinese restaurant is in is still dilapidated. It's everything. Look, the block is barely making it. Everybody else on the block can't get nothing. You understand? Because they got a zoning and stuff, and here comes somebody from the city giving them all these fines and stuff, so they can't open up. But here come this Chinese restaurant that's dirty as hell, because when you walk in there, you see how dirty it is and stuff like that. But we continue to give them our dollars and give us our money, and they continue not to give us nothing back. Nothing back in returns. Okay, sometimes you'll see a couple of beauty supply stores. They may have a couple of Black people in there working or whatever. But I'm trying to tell you, we can't even get an extra soy sauce packet. We can't even get an extra soy sauce packet. My thing is, though, y'all can set up shop in our communities that y'all been doing for a very long time, and we have allowed y'all to do that. But we can't even get a back to school drive. Okay, a back to school drive. We can't get anything. We can't get anything at all. Y'all got that plexiglass on there, barely can hear you, talk to us any type of way, throw our money at us, all that stuff. We curse them out and then go back a week later, all that stuff. Like, when are you going to have some standards? When are you going to have some standards? When are you going to start running these people out of business if they don't give a certain amount of money back to the community? That's just what it is. You can't even use the bathroom in any of these places. You can't even use the bathroom if you got to use the bathroom and you paying your money. Every restaurant customer, any type of restaurant, carry out, you supposed to have you supposed to have a bathroom, baby. That's just real talk. That's just real talk. You supposed to have a bathroom when you go and get your pump your gas, right? And them Arabs have all be messing up that gas that they give you. Got a little bit of water in there, messing up your engine and all that stuff. So you got to deal with watered down engine, and Brandon Johnson just gave y'all more red light cameras. So you got to deal with broke down engines and more red light cameras and no bathroom when you go to the gas station. But they're going to take your money. I'm just trying to tell you, it ain't making no sense. So don't get mad at me because I see some crazy stuff and I talk about it or I out it, and don't come to me and say, why are you doing that to them black aldermen down there? Why are you doing that down there? Why are they doing it to themselves, and why are they letting these people come into our communities and don't economically make sure that the block at least that they've been on is fine? Why we don't have no sit-down Chinese restaurant in our communities since you want to come there, since you want to come in there, since you want to come there, man, you making millions off of us, off of beef and broccoli. All right? So, yeah. Policies and practices in the U.S., such as redlining and economic segregation, has historically created conditions that pit marginalized communities against each other. These systematic forces often prevent deeper collaboration between groups, which is true because redlining is still happening here. Economic segregation, or as my man Dave says and Ms. Jackson say, economic genocide, because that's what we're dealing with, is terrible. But it is because of the government. And then you have black leadership in these communities, like with the 20 black aldermen we have, and they don't help either with the redlining. They allow anything. They allow this to happen, and then they look at you and act like they don't know what to do. I don't know. I don't know. Go talk to the mayor. Girl, we voted you in. You are the city council member for that ward. Okay, we know everything that you get in that ward. $1.5 billion for the ward. $305,000 for personnel, over $140-something thousand for your automatic expenses, and you get $142,000 to $145,000 because they passed the budget now for your salary, and you get a new car. So don't sit here and tell me to go write the mayor. Do your job or get out. That's how this works. But a lot of y'all are getting out of office. That's just what it is. That's how it's going to happen. Do I blame the Asians for coming over there, extorting us? No, because we do it to ourselves. We allow it to happen. Okay, and that's just what it is. Ain't no way in the world that they should be coming in they need to give us the money back, and that's just what it is. Okay, I want to see a book bag drive. I want to see turkey drive, Christmas toy giveaway, or anything like that. Okay, that's how that's supposed to work. Okay, all right. Now, I will say, Mr. Gregory used to always speak very highly of John Lennon and his wife, Yoko Ono. Okay, I'm going to talk about that briefly. Cool. So, he definitely worked and collaborated with Dick Gregory, and he spoke about it like he used to talk about it a lot. Okay, John Lennon and Yoko Ono had a significant relationship with Dick Gregory, marked by mutual respect and shared activism. So maybe that's what it is. When you got some type of heart, or you got some type of you want to do right and stuff like that, because maybe that's what it is. Maybe everybody ain't got that. A lot of people have a selfish mentality. It's actually getting worse as I see. But yeah. All right. So all three were vocal critics of the Vietnam War and shared a commitment to peace and social justice. As you know, Dick Gregory is a comedian and he was a civil rights activist, and Lennon Ono duo often used their platforms to promote anti-war messages. If you don't know who John Lennon is, John Lennon was one of the Beatles, and he was sadly shot and killed by a weirdo. Okay. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the 1969 Bed-In for Peace, and that was John and Yoko's Bed-Ins for Peace. It reflected their commitment to nonviolent protests while they shared ideals, created a sense of alignment in their activism. Dick Gregory, as you know, he was a strong proponent for vegetarianism, which I need to really start getting on my fasting, and holistic health practices. His advocacy influenced John Lennon and Uno as they were exploring healthier lifestyles and Eastern philosophies during the late 1960s and 1970s. They both, one thing I liked about Lennon and Gregory, Mr. Gregory, they both used their entertainment platforms to shed light on what's going on in America and in America, in communities, and all over the world. You know, when it came even to when socialism was a little bit normal and things like that with the Palestinians and the Israel thing and all of that, but they use their platform for those things. And these people that we have now, these entertainers now, I don't know what they're doing. But yeah. John Lennon and Yoko Ono financially supported social and political movements, including ones that was deeply involved with Dick Gregory. And also Dick Gregory, he used to donate majority of anything that he get for comedy. It would go to the movement as well. He was very dedicated and deeply involved. So appreciate both of them. In 1971, John Lennon and Uno donated to the Black Panthers Party Defense Fund, particularly to aid those facing legal battles such as Angela Davis and others who were targeted by the U.S. government. They also supported anti-war movements. They used proceeds from their music and public events, such as their Bed-Ins for Peace, to fund various anti-war initiatives. Lennon's song Happy Xmas, War is Over, and other projects contributed funds and awareness to peace movements. John Lennon and Uno gave money to organizations like the National Committee to Free the Chicago 7, which fought for justice for activists, including those connected to movements Dick Gregory supported. John Lennon and Yoko Ono's donations helped sustain critical movements during a time of heightened social unrest, while the scale of their financial contributions is not always documented. Their influence extended beyond money through their global platform, amplifying awareness, encouraging others to act. So that is something that we fail to do now, I think. And I don't think it's I don't blame anybody. I just think that the leaders that we have in place have really have set us back big time. And now that God sent us a wake-up call, which was this illegal invasion scam, I think that we're getting to where we need to go. I don't have all the answers. Other people in this movement don't have all the answers, but I go back to history, and history repeats itself, and you just gotta do a little more. We gotta add our part. We gotta add our generation part. My millennial spin, or the Gen X spin, or the Gen Z spin. It's a lot of Gen Z that are up and awake, and I don't think that people realize that. I think they're really overlooking them. A lot of the Gen Z have reached out to me asking how can they help in certain ways, so they know what's going on, and that's just what needs to happen. But I think when it comes to any of these non-blacks working or have any type of businesses in our community, especially these rundown communities, because the fact that you see these rundown communities and you still are collecting, you still are doing your business in our communities, knows that you making money. Y'all making big money. Y'all probably making $500,000 a year. And when you think about it, you don't your cost, your overhead cost is really not a lot because you don't got no bathroom in there. You ain't got no tables and chairs in there for a person to enjoy their food in there. You basically you pay and get the fuck, you get out. And that's what we do. And then we try to figure out why we are in the predicament that we are in. So I think we need to start encouraging these restaurants to hire us locally and with a decent amount of money because they have it. Donate to Black initiatives and create partnerships that can foster goodwill and mutual growth. Or they can take or they can go to Chinatown. They could take what they have to Chinatown if they do not start giving back to the community or hire us locally. And I mean a decent amount of money locally. Okay? Like don't give us no anything. Y'all got the money, start paying or go to Chinatown. If we want Chinese food, we know where to find y'all. Yeah, so you can think about that. Or, all of that. Y'all need to either host some events, do some cultural exchanges, let us know about your culture. You already know about us because you already mastered how to make Chinese chicken, because I'm trying to tell you, Korean chicken is good. Okay, the Korean fried chicken is good. So y'all done mastered that. So let's do some culture. Let's do a fried chicken. Let's do a fried chicken competition or something. Do something to bring some money to the community. You understand? That actually would be dope. Okay. And I think that people need to create spaces for open conversations about economic and social contributions when it comes to our communities. We're going to have to start doing this. You understand? We're going to have to start having these conversations with these non-Black businesses in our communities. If our aldermen can't do what they need to do as a public servant, because they're probably getting kickbacks from these places, or maybe not even getting kickbacks from these places, they just are just not doing their job because they run unopposed or they're grandfathered in because they have some situation when it comes to getting in office, and that's what's going on now. Like I said, we dealing with the big machine and the old machine, the old Democratic machine is coming to an end, but now this new machine is coming in, and we are going to make sure this machine doesn't get that far. And that's how that works, but it has to be us. Y'all got to take the emotions out of a lot of this and think about business, okay? Economically, it doesn't make any sense. And economically, the U.S. government from the federal, state, and local level owe us economic resources. They owe us money for our communities, and they have the money, okay? They have the money. And if we can pay for all these vacancies that we don't have, that's our tax dollar. If we could just pay, if we just paid for the CTAs, the CTA buses and stuff to go help these Venezuelans, right, that just got evicted from 73rd and Phillips because they were squatting over there. You can tell we had money, you know, and that's funny, right? The fact that they got evicted out of there, right, and they got the bus, the Brandon Johnson, all them, Beatrice Ponce de Leon, because that's the lady who's a deputy mayor for immigration and refugee rights. So she went and got some CTA buses and stuff to get these people from over on 73rd and Phillip, right? They've been shooting each other and putting them in dumpsters and all that stuff. But it's starting to catch up. People starting to see it. You know, people are starting to talk about it more. You know, again, Tom Homan is on his way. Trump is watching. Everybody's watching Chicago, whatever. So they went and hurried up and got these buses and went and got them from over there on 73rd and Phillip. But how were you able to get all that stuff, make sure they were good, right? But any other American citizen or Chicago citizen that gets evicted, they don't get that. They don't get none of that. They don't get none of that at all. That don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? We getting played with our tax dollar. We're getting played with our tax dollar, and this is a Democratic Party. It's a Democratic city and Democratic Party, and you got a whole bunch of Democratic Socialists, Hispanics, aka the KKK, that has stole this immigration money, and then you have this Democratic Socialist mayor from Elgin, Illinois, who's never got this type of what's it called? Attention. He's never got this type of attention the way that he's getting. And it's not good attention because he's a certified clown, but the fact that he's never got anything like this. So the fact that he's got this and he's making Chicago look bad, and it just gets worse. The fact that the comptroller quit on Friday just lets you know what else are you doing. That's how I feel. Like I said, that's my first gift. That's one of my other Christmas presents, because that comptroller knows that it is some BS that's about to happen, and he don't want no parts of it, because you know why? Because he's not going to get blacklisted and not be able to get a job. Or also, he may know that the feds are coming. They may have reached out to him. Okay, he probably told him everything. Okay, because little wrinkle. I don't know if you ever seen Chase. If you've seen Chase, the comptroller, you gotta look him up. Okay, look up the comptroller who just passed away. My man stayed wrinkled. He looked like he didn't get no sleep. He looked disheveled every time I seen him. But that's who they picked as the comptroller. And he always looked too like he knew that this was some BS, but he just trying to go with the flow because, you know, it is working for the city and work for mayor. But he also came from the state, and he probably seen how things are different from the state and from here. So of the state to the city, and he also sees that this man has no idea what he's doing or how to govern. So yeah. So it's about to be more stuff after that. That's just the little icing, the little cherry. No, yeah, that's not even the cherry on top. That is the first scoop of the ice cream in the bowl. It's gonna be 2 more scoops. Some fudge, hot fudge, caramel fudge, some whipped cream, and then the cherry on the top. So that's just 1 scoop of ice cream. That's how that goes. Hello, Dustin. How are you doing? But yeah, any questions before I leave? I just wanted to let y'all in on how I feel about the little Chinese and Asian tension, and how I feel about the hypocrisy when it comes to them being in our community and not giving back. But then I also know that there are Asians that are good for us, and do rock with us. Actually, there's a journalist who works for U.S. Time. No, not U.S. Time, U.S. Today. And she wrote a dope article on me and Mama Doris. She couldn't get everything in that she wanted to get in because they wanted her to take a lot of stuff out. However, she's Asian, and she did push it through, and she was adamant of putting it out there. So thanks. I thought that you want businesses to be 100% black owned and operated in Chicago while partnering with Asian businesses. First of all, do you know how many black people love Chinese food? That's number one. Chinese food is good food. I'm saying that they're already here. A lot of them are already here. So if they're going to continue to stay in our neighborhoods, yes, hire us. Okay, black people don't want to work like that. Some of us don't want to, then some do. Some brown people or some Hispanics are there. But yeah, if they're already here and black people are trying to get a job and you're not trying to hire us, or you giving us that nasty food, or the way that you treat us. No, and if you're going to be in those communities, then yes, you're going to have to start doing back to school drives. There's nothing wrong with that. They already in there. So yeah. So I think the issue is I don't have no animosity about anybody. I don't like when no one is not giving us our fair share. We're going to have to deal with people. That's how life works. We're going to have to deal with non-blacks or non-freedmen. We're going to have to deal with Asians. We're going to have to deal with Hispanics. We're going to have to deal with Indians. We're going to have to deal with whites. We're going to have to deal with these no good black people that are in Congress and stuff. That's the first focus point is that. The first focus point is that. I can tell you from my experience, because Asians are too compromised and supportive of white supremacy. And we also are very compromised and supportive of white supremacy, Michael. That's the problem with us now. That's why we don't have anything. Because the people who are in Congress gatekeep. The people who are in local city council gatekeep. You see what we're going through now. So the thing is, my thing is to get these people out of office, okay? And then start from there. But yes, we need to work on our communities. We need to make sure. Dick Gregory explains it very well in a video that maybe after I'm done with this, I'm gonna send a link. If anybody email me, I'll send y'all the link, and maybe y'all listen to what he has to say. But we have to go back to our communities, but we can't do anything if we do not get these people who are in office out of office. The people who are in some of these government positions out of office, who are gatekeeping a lot of the things that's supposed to be for us, that are black, that are our kind. I can't get mad at the Hispanics getting in and making sure they good. I can't get mad at the Asians that get in and make sure they good. It's us that get in and don't make sure we good. We'll give everything to the Asian. We'll give everything to the Hispanics. We'll give everything to the white developers. But then when we come and start asking for any of the development money or any infrastructure money, they don't know what we're talking about. They have no idea what we're talking about. So, yeah. You can boycott Asian businesses, but also you also can tell them, hey, this is our business proposal. We're going to need you to make sure you give $100,000 to these certain schools, so you can give to these certain schools in our community, or you need to do a back to school drive, or you need to do this. If you do not do any of these, then yes, you will no longer have a business in our community. But you're going to have to give back in some type of way. That's how I work. I'm not everybody else. Okay, I'm not Philip Scott. I'm not anybody else. I am Zoe Leigh, and that's what I suggest. And I'm a business. You're gonna have to work with these people. Okay, and that's just what you have to work anyway. Now, if they don't want, if they say no, we don't want to do that. Okay, well, we're not going to be eating here anymore. Okay, we will not be eating here in any other restaurant in our community that is non-black, that's not giving back to the community. That's how that works. Yeah, we don't have enough businesses in our community yet to get to that spot because a lot of people are scared to do what I just said. A lot of people are scared to come down there and talk about it. A lot of people are scared to do a lot of things. Then a lot of people are scared. They're just lazy. So yeah. But yeah, you offer them that. You offer them, hey, we got 100,000. But I'm not Philip Scott, Michael Pan. So I'm doing what I'm doing. Okay. So this on this channel is how I would go about it. How Philip Scott is doing how he goes about it. And I agree with Philip Scott. After they do not take my proposal that I'm giving them, then yes, we will do a video we'll do a press conference in front of them. We will not be supporting this business, and this is the reason why. That's how you do it. But no, it's a business. So yeah, so he has his way of doing it. Everybody has their way of doing things. This, how I do my thing, is sort of how Dick Gregory has tried to explain to people years and years and years. Mr. Gregory he had his own diet. Nigga had Bohemian diet. From that, he had his own book. The book, that book sold over 1 million copies, if not more, probably 2 million copies now. This man had his own Dick Gregory Enterprises. He had a farm. He had everything going for himself, and he worked with all types of people. All types of people. And one of his things he's always said is, is there a line of communication open with the business you're referring to? No, we make that line of communication. Yeah, we make that line of communication. We go in wherever the Chinese restaurant, or not even Chinese, whatever restaurant is, African restaurant, in all these restaurants, okay, that's in our communities, that's not putting no money in our communities. We give them our proposal, and we tell them, hey, this is what we want, okay? White supremacy is in black people too. That's what we're dealing with the Democrats. Hey man, Philip Scott is Philip Scott, okay? And I am me. So you go to Philip Scott and you talk to Philip Scott his way. I'm talking to, I can't know this Yoji, whatever. But yeah, so what we do is whatever Chinese restaurant or any restaurant that's non-black American, is non-Freedman American, and you have, and they are giving us good quality service, gas stations, all of this. We give them a proposal. Right? And with this proposal, if they got 20 days to think about if they're going to say yes or no, right? And if 20 days they ignore us and say no, or anything like that, no, we're not going to do it, or they think we a game, then we will go in front of these businesses and we will say, this person is not supporting this community, okay? And he's been making money off of this community for a long time, okay? And if you do not want to do that, then we will not be patronizing this business, and then they will go broke, and then they will no longer be in business. But we're going to offer them a proposal first, okay? And if they don't want to do the proposal, then we're done. That's how I do my business over here. Everybody can do theirs different way, but that's how I do my business where I come from, or what I suppose. I'm Rican. I went to Austin High School. Our classrooms were broken and made me angry. All schools should be funded equally. They shouldn't be favoritism as long as we're citizens. Yeah, you're absolutely right. But you gotta fight, and nobody don't fight, and that's just how that works. Some business owners says we are talking, but I bet some will be into cultural neighborhood events or support. This is a way to make nothing come to the black area. This is a way to make nothing come to the black area. What are you talking about? There's nothing in the black area. So there's a way to make nothing. This is a way to make nothing come to the black area. Oh, wait, are you saying this wait, what do you mean, Jamie? Break it down to me, Jamie. Are you saying that this is a way to make nothing come to the black area, like nobody else can't come bringing stuff in there that's not black owned or Freedman owned? Is that what you're saying? Or are you saying that this is a way, like this was a bad idea? I don't mean to make you upset, but you understand where I'm coming from. Look, man, you got a thing against Asians. They really got you messed up. But white supremacy has been assimilated in every other culture. We're right now, we're dealing with it with 20 black nothing aldermen down there. If y'all would have voted for Kamala Harris, you would have seen it gotten worse. So at the end of the day, it's all over the place. It's a business, okay? Again, y'all got to take the white supremacy and all that other stuff out, take all that out. Like put all the emotions over here to the side, baby. What we talking about, Mr. Mike, is a proposal, okay? And if they don't go by this proposal, then yes, we gonna Philip Scott them. Okay, what Philip Scott say? We are not patronizing their businesses. You're absolutely right, but we got to bring them something. I'm bringing Trump something. I'm bringing everybody something. If y'all don't take this, then we moving on. And the next one is what? Third party. We going independent. But I'm not, that's the problem. We got these egos and we let all this weird stuff get to us. That's why people right now, I don't rock with Trump. Trump is racist. Trump is a racist. Trump is a racist. Okay, Biden's not a racist. Biden's not a racist. Biden is his biggest racist. Biden is so racist, it's crazy how y'all are in denial about, not y'all, but how so many people are in denial about how racist Biden is. So, I mean, I don't care about the racism or any of those type of things. It's a business, baby. And I know how this works. And that's why I stand on the U.S. Constitution. I don't look at color when it comes to the U.S. Constitution. I look at they violated the 5th and 14th Amendment in my case, and y'all gonna pay for it. Okay, then when I start fighting it, then I realize, okay, y'all continue to do this because black people don't stand up and do anything. So that's just what it is. I support reparations. I've educated them about it because most Asians are against them for black Americans. White people are against reparations. There's black people that are against reparations. People against a lot of people that's against reparations. Anti-Daniels, they say, is against reparations. A lot of people are against reparations. Y'all need to find out, I'm about to be against them if y'all don't figure out a way. Nobody has no plan. All y'all do is just complain and complain and complain and complain and complain. Y'all been complaining for so long. I haven't been complaining for that long. See, they put my mother in the hospital of January of last year. I'm going on 2 years, okay? 2 years this next month. And I've gotten a lot further than a lot of people that just complain and complain and complain and complain. Because I see what I want, and I'm going to get it. And I'm going to continue to get it. And the people who are with me understand, and the people who not, get out the way and come shake my hand afterwards, because I'm doing this for all of us. But I'm not going to be distracted by people who have been doing these for years and years and years and have gotten nowhere. It's like that. I don't know what the problem is, because I see everything and I see that, okay, this is what we gotta do. This is what we gotta do. This is what we gotta do. I don't need that many people. I just need a group of people that's not afraid to take this on. I know my law. I have common sense. I have God. And at the end of the day, the government owes my family money. I'm saying it's protect you from Asians. What? I don't need to be protected by I know who I am. I'm about to like put you on timeout because I don't need to be protected from Asians. I don't need to be protected from Hispanics. I'm a very, very smart, very aware person. But I'm also not going to be not talk to people because why? No, I'm not going to do that. I know how to do this. I know how this works. I came on here to talk about something totally different. Michael Pan, you might need a timeout. Any questions besides Michael Pan? Right. And the crazy thing is about that, CW, is my family has got the city of Chicago up against the wall. Miss Jackson has got Cook County and the city up against the wall. Like, we've got Cook County and the city of Chicago up against the wall when it comes to this eminent domain with my mother's case, that they gonna have no choice but to give us our 40 acres and a mule. And when I say our 40 acres and a mule, all of our 40 acres and a mule, everybody on the south side of Chicago that have lost their buildings or their block. You know, some people have blocks. And they demolished everything on there for building violations or whatever they wanted to do. And the fact that their system is so messed up in city of Chicago and Cook County because it's so corrupt, and they don't have all the paperwork and all that stuff. Do you know how much money they owe us? They owe us so much money. And because we have made it out here so everybody sees it, everybody's watching, more allies are starting to ask questions and even inviting us to certain places where more people are watching it. And look, everybody's watching this case. They're watching this case. And the judge, I know that he's conflicted because he can't go against the grain. I mean, he can't go against the grain because, again, they take these oaths to be dedicated to the government, but also he took an oath for the people, and we the people. So that's just how I feel, you know. So it's a waiting game, and my thing is, instead of these black raggedy politicians going and saying stupid stuff like we getting paid to come down there because they know that their time is up because they've been getting paid to sell our communities out for a long time, that the time is near, and it is what it is. So yes, that's how that works. But yeah, 40 acres and a mule, we definitely getting 40 acres and a mule. We're all getting 40 acres and a mule because they're not going to be able to pay all them lawsuits that's about to happen. And all 20 black wards. Look at all the 20 black wards. Reach out to them. They got them in the North wards too. They got North Side got them too. Pilsen got Chinese restaurants too. Chinatown, but yeah, they're all 20 wards. Chinese, Asian restaurants, Korean people who pose as Chinese people to make they Chinese food and all that stuff. They come to our communities because we will buy from them. It's coming. It's definitely coming. Does anyone have any more questions before we end this live? I'm going to tell you, tomorrow is going to be a very good one. The dose of sample. The dose of Dr. Sample. That's going to be really good. Y'all will enjoy that one tomorrow. Any more questions before I go? Thank you for all the donations. If you send donations, I appreciate it. And that's mainly it. Any donation? Any questions before I'm going? Yeah, I'm supporting the independent party. The independent party is the Freedman party. That's next. I'm not supporting anybody. I'm not supporting no green parties, no libertarians, or any of those things. I'm not even gonna get myself caught up in any of those. We're organizing right now. The Republican Party has about a year to get us what we need to get as far as to start getting us into position to start talking about reparations. And if they don't, it's time for the Freedmen's, Black Americans, whatever y'all identify yourself, to go independent. We're not waiting until a year before the election. It's just not going to work. Okay? It's not going to work. That's how that works. So that's what I'm on. Okay, that's my mission. That's my mission for my brand. That's my mission for my group that I have. That's our mission. So we know what we're doing, and it's not going to take us long. So that's how that is. So either y'all rocking with the mission or y'all not. Everybody else has a lot of missions. As long as everybody gets the 4, and that's just what it is. It should be on there. Chicago, all hands on deck at gmail.com. Thank you very much, Michael. All right. You guys take care. I will see y'all tomorrow. Peace, peace.